On a Friday, for
Mm.
example, I've got two blocks in my calendar that work on my business and learn new stuff. And so what I have started doing is if somebody tells me about a new piece of software or a podcast to listen to or a video to watch or whatever the situation is, or I come across something that I'm like, oh, flip, I really need to do a course on this. I actually schedule that time on a Friday. I find that actually scheduling time to do those random things is a great time management tool for me. So, Shay, we're speaking about time management, and we have started recording 10 minutes late because we had a big fat chat before we pressed record. So, we're off to a good start for time management. But yeah, we thought that this would be an interesting one, what you do to manage your time. And I know that we both do some sort of calendar blocking, but you're a lot more strict than I am. So you want to dive in and tell people how a, a type of personality you are when it comes to calendar blocking.
Yeah, so when it comes, as you knew, you predicted, so that the topic for the episode is what's your number one tip for time management? And obviously mine is calendar blocking. So you didn't even need to ask me. And I mean, so yes, we started this episode 10 minutes late, but if I look in my calendar, catered to recording. And since we said these episodes are going to be kind of short and snappy, 5 to 10 minutes, I know that the time is allocated, so I worry not. And that is, people, the benefit of calendar blocking is that when you've got your day planned and scheduled, it's actually so much less stressful because you know that everything's been accounted for. Of course, life happens. That's why you've got to put some white space in there. But let me just go back to the beginning. So I started using Calendly when I started using oh, now the name escapes me, the meeting booking software. No, Calendly, that's I started using calendar blocking. Oh dear. Hmm, right.
Okay, so
Let's try this again.
join
We,
us
we
for
we
the
might
next
need the full
episode
hour and a
where we
half. Yeah.
we do speak about
When I
staying focused
started
in one of these episodes.
correct. Ultimate hack. So I started using Calendly, which is amazing. It also is something that saves you a lot of time. So that's another time tip. So basically, it allows people to book meetings with you when your calendar's free. So instead of going back and forth with I can meet at this time, no, I can't meet at this time, no, I'm taking to the dog to the vet. Then you can actually eliminate all of that, and someone can book a meeting with you straight away. So use that. So I started using that, and then I realized that when I looked at my calendar, uh, people could book a meeting with me pretty much at any time because my calendar was empty except for all my other meetings. So what I decided to do was sit down and work out, okay, what do I do on an average week? And let me pop those in my calendar, those dates and times, and see what I end up with. And it was quite revealing because what it also showed me by doing that is that I actually didn't have enough time in the day that I'd set out for all the stuff that I'd committed to. So I realized, firstly, okay, this is why I'm feeling so stressed. It's because I actually don't have enough time to do all the things that I've said yes to, which we've spoken about in the past, saying yes. So actually putting these little blocks in my calendar helps me not only plan my day, but actually plan my capacity. So now I know straight away by looking at my calendar if I've got some gaps and if I can take on a project or not. So it's helped me justify, what I can actually take on and saying no when I need to as well. So I could go on about calendar blocking for years and years and years. I will stop here because we're trying to keep these episodes short. And I will ask you about your number one tip for time. Oh, I do have, sorry, one more thing. I do have a video where I go through my process of calendar blocking. So if anyone wants it, just pop me a message on LinkedIn and I can send you. It's not publicly available, but because you are a loyal listener, are you not? You better be. Like and subscribe. There we go. Um, Pop me a message and I'll send you the link. Okay, so tell me
Awesome.
about your time management tip.
So, um, I am not as type A personality with time management as I should be. I have similar to you, I do calendar blocking, but what I call it is a default diary. And what I did when I set it up was I kind of tracked what I did over the course of 2 weeks, which is a bit of it's a pain. It's kind of like calorie tracking, which you go on diet, you're like, oh, I'll track my calories, and like 2 days later, you're like, oh, what a ball ache. So, it is it is a bit of a mission to kind of track yourself. But what that does do is give you a glimpse into where you're spending your time, what you're doing in certain parts of the day, etc., etc., and then you use that to kind of build your calendar blocking around. So, I start my day at like 7 in the morning. I work out at 11. I work again until 3, and then the rest of the afternoon, I've discovered I'm not uh, productive in the afternoon. So I will do my admin, and then I've actually scheduled YouTube time into the afternoons as well, because if you're not scheduling time to mess around. And as creatives, you need that time to kind of decompress and mess around. And if you're not scheduling it in, I went through a phase where I was very like 9 to 5. This is what I was doing, working all the way through, because you've got that corporate mindset of I have to work 8 hours a day. And what I was finding was in between tasks, I was like, okay, let me reward myself by going onto YouTube, and what you think is going to be 5 minutes turns into an hour, and you lose a lot of time. So now I've actually scheduled time to mess around online at the end of my day. So it kind of alleviates the temptation to, before I start this task, let me quickly look at this or do that. Something else I've done as well is what you've spoken about before, is actually dedicating a specific day to specific business related tasks. So on a Friday, for example, I've got 2 blocks in my calendar that work on my business and learn new stuff. And so I struggle to stay focused during the week. And so what I have started doing is, if somebody tells me about a new piece of software, or a podcast to listen to, or a video to watch, or whatever the situation is, or I come across something that I'm like, oh, flip, I really need to do a course on this. I actually schedule that time on a Friday. So now I need to set up 10 new templates for stuff. I do that on Friday. I've got 3 videos that I want to watch on, uh, time time management hacks or whatever. I'll schedule that, and I've actually put that into my calendar. So that saves a lot of time. For me, it's easy to schedule. It's not so easy to stick to the schedule. So yeah, I find that actually scheduling time to do those random things is a great time management tool for me.
I love that. I love the learning time. I need to, because I've set aside a Thursday where I don't do any client work and where I focus on, yeah, stuff for my business, but I haven't put in that learning slot. And that's such a great idea, because often you think you don't want to lose that thought, but you just haven't found a gap between your day, or yeah, you use it as a distraction. So actually just having all those things written down, ready to go, and then actually using the time productively to really engage makes a lot of sense. So thank you. I'm going to put that
Yeah.
into my Thursday.
Okay, well, there you go. Do you find, just as a to round off this conversation, do you find Thursday works better than Friday? Because I've experimented with different days, and I struggle to put like own work during the middle of the week, because I feel like I should be doing client work. But the problem with putting on a Friday is like sometimes you don't have much to do, and then you end up taking that Friday and messing around, not doing your work on the business and learn new stuff. Um, it's working for me at the moment, but I have found in the past, when I've tried to do my business day on a Friday, it kind of leads into long weekend situations. So, do you
Yeah.
have a hack to to cope with that?
Yeah, so that was part of the reason that I put mine on a Thursday. And the other reason is that often I, commit to deadlines to say I'll do this by the end of the week. So I like to have Friday to finish those things that I said I would do by the end of the week. So, I like to smash out my Friday morning, make sure I've got all those deadlines. And then, Friday afternoon happens and there's not much left to do. Then I'm free to go. So it's also nice to have that feeling of, okay, I've done what I've committed to for the week. I'm out.
Okay. It's maybe again, it's the time management scheduling is easy. It's sticking to the schedule that is the challenge. So yeah, we'd like to hear from you guys. What is your top tip for time management? Have you got a miracle silver bullet to help both of us and your fellow freelancers manage their time more effectively that works better than calendar blocking? Tell us in the comments, and we will see you in the next episode.